Hi everyone, today we are on lesson 6.4 on page 239 on your colored math books. Today we are going to learn how to find a common denominator. The question asks, how can you write a pair of fractions as fractions with a common denominator? So, all denominators don't have the same bottom number. All fractions don't have the same bottom number, and that bottom number is called a denominator. So we're going to try to find that to get the same bottom number. All right, let's get started. So let's pull out the question. Martin has cakes that are the same size. One cake is cut into 1/2 size pieces. The other cake is cut into 1/3 size pieces. He wants to cut the cake so they have the same size pieces. How can he cut each cake? So we know that one is going to be cut into 1/2. One is going to be cut into 1/3. And he wants them cut into the same size pieces. How can he cut each piece of cake? Okay, I'm going to move this up here so we can see everything. Okay, find a common denominator for 1/2 and 1/3. So the denominator here is 2, and the denominator here is 3. The numerators are both 1, which when you're finding the common denominator, the numerator really doesn't matter. You'll see we have to change it, but it doesn't matter what the number is. We are really focusing on these denominators, 2 and 3. So let's find the steps, what we're going to have to do to find a common denominator. Step 1, first cut the cake into half pieces. Draw a vertical up and down line that cut the cake into halves. So they want it vertical up and down and into halves. All right. Step 1. Oh, it is step 2 in your book. All right. Model the second cake into 1/3 size pieces. Draw sideways, horizontal, sideways lines that cut the cake into thirds. So, that's a pretty good line. Oop. All right. So now we have our half, 1/2, and we have 1/3. 1/3 right here and 1/2 right here. All right. Oh, they drew it for us all nice. Again, we're trying to find a common denominator, trying to get the denominators the same. Trying to find something that is the same. How can Martin cut the cakes so that they have the same number of equal pieces? How could he do that? It looks like, oh, okay. I was looking in the book. I don't think they have step 3 on here. So this is a little different than in your book, but it's okay. We're going to try to figure out how we can get these to look the same. So what should we do? Well, this one has a straight line up and down. Does this one have a straight line up and down? So can we put that in there? And then to make this one look the same, we need to put this in there. The 2 lines that go horizontally. So now what kind of pieces do we have? We have 1/6 piece over here, and we also have a 1/6 pieces over here. They're cut into 1/6. So the common denominator now is 6. All right, let's go to the next one. Write 4/5 and 1/2 as a pair of fractions with common denominators. So for everyone, you're not going to want to sit there and draw it out. And for everyone, you're not going to be able to draw them out. So yesterday, we were listing the factors. We were trying to simplify the fraction. Today, we're going to list the multiples to try to find the same common denominator. So let's list them. For the multiples, remember, multiples get bigger. They multiply. They can go on forever. So you have 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Those were the multiples. And for 2, you have 2, 4, 6, come on, 8, 10, and 12. All right, so list the multiples of 5 and 2. Circle common multiples. So what do they have in common? Do they have, I'm going to look at this right here, and I'm going to see if it's down here. So a 5. Does the bottom one have a 5? No. A 10 is up here. Does the bottom down here have a 10? Yes, right here and right here. 15. This one has a 15. Does the bottom have a 15? No. 20? No. 25? No. And 30? No. So I'm going to stick with 10 and 10. All right, let's see what they want us to do next. Step 2, write equivalent fractions. So what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to multiply 4 times what and 5 times what? Remember, choose a common denominator that is common multiple of 5 and 2. So we chose 10. Those were the numbers we circled. That is where that 10 came from. 10 came from. 10, 10, 10, 10. So now you have to think 5 times what equals 10? 5 times 2 equals 10. Remember, whatever you do to the bottom, you have to do to the top. Or whatever you do to the top, you have to do to the bottom. So if you multiply the bottom by 2, you have to multiply the top by 2. So 4 times 2 equals 8. Now, that was that fraction up there. You don't have to multiply the same down here. It's a totally different fraction, and you won't multiply the same down here. Because down here, remember, the only thing that has to be the same is the new denominator that you're getting, which was 10. So you have to think 2 times what equals 10? 2 times 5 equals 10. 2 times 5 equals 10. Now you have to say, whatever you do in the bottom, you have to do to the top. Or whatever you do to the top, you have to do to the bottom. So if I did the bottom by 5, I have to multiply the top by 5. 1 times 5 equals 5. Nice job. So you can write 4/5 and 1/2 as, you can write them as your new fractions, 8 tenths and 5 tenths. Now they both have 10 as their common denominator right there. I should have used a different color to do that. They both have 10 as their common denominator. And that's what you were trying to do. So that answers your question that we had at the beginning. How can you write a pair of fractions as fractions with common denominators? Well, how we did that was we either drew a picture or we listed out the multiples and found which one is what do they have in common, and then we made the equivalent fractions. Bye everyone, I'll see you in class. Let me know if you have any questions.